and make any other recommendations that it deems fit. Honorable members, having established that the matter raised in the petition is well within the authority of this House, I direct that the petition be committed to the Public Petitions Committee for consideration in accordance with the provisions of Standing Order 208A. The committee is required to consider the matter and report its findings to the House and to the petition in accordance with the Standing Order 2272. I thank you. Honorable members, take your seats before I go to the next petition. The nearest seat available. Honorable members, there's a petition regarding the removal of members of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Honorable members, Standing Order 2252 of the National Assembly Standing Orders requires the Speaker to report to the House any petition other than those presented by a member. In this regard, I wish to convey to the House that my office is in receipt of 4 petitions seeking the removal of commissioners of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, pursuant to the provisions of Article 251 of the Constitution. Members, can you take your seats? This is a bit long. The nearest available seats. Honorable Sunguli, that is not the nearest available seat, certainly. Honorable members, Article 251 of the Constitution grants any citizen the right to petition the National Assembly for the removal of a member of a constitutional commission or holder of an independent office for either serious violation of the Constitution or statute, gross misconduct, or incompetence. The petitions received are as follows. A, petition by the Republican Party. The petition seeks the removal from office of Ms. Juliana CHERERA, Mr. Julius Nyang'aya, Ms. Irene Masit, and Mr. Francis Wanderi on the grounds of violation of the Constitution and other laws. In the petition, the Republican Party states that the 4 commissioners, through their action of issuing a press statement rejecting election results on grounds that the chairperson of the IEBC had conducted the verification and tallying process in an opaque manner, A, failed to promote public confidence in the integrity of the office they hold and brought dishonor to the nation and lack of dignity for the office contrary to Article 73(1)A of the Constitution. B, failed to adhere to the guiding principles of leadership and integrity under Article 73(2) of the Constitution. C, failed to act in a manner that avoids demeaning the office that they hold, contrary to Article 75 of the Constitution. D, failed to adhere to the values and principles of public service, contrary to Article 232 of the Constitution. And E, failed to adhere to take into account the provisions of Section 9 of the Leadership and Integrity Act, number 19 of 2012, and should therefore take personal responsibility for the reasonably foreseeable consequences of any actions or omissions arising from the discharge of the duties of the office. Honorable members, take the nearest available seats. Honorable members, the Republican Party ultimately prays for the consideration of the petition to His Excellency the President pursuant to Article 251(3) of the Constitution. B, a petition by Reverend Nduiga and Ndumbi. Honorable members, this second petition seeks the removal from office of Ms. Juliana CHERERA, Ms. Irene Masit, Mr. Francis Wanderi, and Mr. Justus Nyang'aya on the grounds of serious violation of the Constitution and the law, gross misconduct, and incompetence. In the petitioner, one Reverend Nduiga, states that the commissioners committed serious violations of the Constitution by A, demonstrating partiality and biased conduct in agreeing to the proposal to alter the results of the presidential elections in favor of one candidate, or in the alternative to force a runoff contrary to Article 10(7)(3)(2)(b), C, 75, 138, 232, and 249 of the Constitution, Sections 9, 26, and 30 of the IEBC Act, Sections 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16, 24 of the Leadership and Integrity Act, and Sections 8, 9, 10, 12, 16, and 17 of the Public Officer Ethics Act. B, agreeing to the incentives and giving in to the proposal by the National Security Advisory Council, NSAC, to alter the result of the presidential elections contrary to Articles 10, 732BC, 75, 138, 232, 249 of the Constitution, Sections 9, 26, and 30 of the IEBC Act, Sections 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16, 24 of the Leadership and Integrity Act, and Sections 8, 9, 10, 12, 16, and 17 of the Public Officer Ethics Act. C, disowning the results of the 2022 presidential elections in which the commissioners had participated in the verification and tallying, contrary to Articles 10, 73(2)(b), C, 75, 232, 249 of the Constitution, Section 9, 26, and 30 of the IEBC Act, Sections 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16, and 24 of the Leadership and Integrity Act, and Sections 8, 9, 10, 12, 16, and 17 of the Public Officer Ethics Act. D, accepting the proposal to alter the results of the elections to subvert the will of the people of Kenya contrary to Articles 10, 73(2)(b)(c), 75, 232, 249 of the Constitution, Sections 9, 26, and 30 of the IEBC Act, Sections 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16, and 24 of the Leadership and Integrity Act, and Sections 8, 9, 10, 12, 16, and 17 of the Public Officer Ethics Act. E, issuing press statements with close semblance with the press statements by Azimio la Umoja One Kenya presidential candidate, contrary to Articles 10, 732BC, 75, 232, and 249 of the Constitution, Sections 9, 26, and 30 of IEBC Act, and Sections 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16, and 24 of the Leadership and Integrity Act, and Sections 8, 9, 10, 12, 16, and 17 of the Public Office and Ethics Act. F, failing to follow the well set out guidelines for the verification, tallying, and announcement of the presidential elections results contrary to Article 10, 732BC, 75, 232, and 249 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, Sections 9, 26, and 30 of the IEBC Act, and Sections 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16, and 24 of the Leadership and Integrity Act, and Sections 8, 9, 10, 12, 16, and 17 of the Public Officer Ethics Act. Honorable members, Reverend Nduiga further states that the four commissioners grossly misconducted themselves by, honorable members, take your seats, the nearest seat available. the nearest seats available. Honorable members, Reverend Nduiga further states that the commissioners grossly misconducted themselves by A, concurring to support the unlawful attempt to alter the results of the presidential elections in favor of one candidate, or in the alternative to force a runoff. B, acting in liaison with one faction in a presidential election. C, refusing to follow the well set out guidelines for the verification and tallying announcement of the presidential elections. And D, swearing affidavits in support of petitions challenging the presidential election. 8. Additionally, honorable members, Reverend Nduiga also states that the 4 commissioners demonstrated incompetence by A, agreeing to the proposal to alter the results of the presidential elections in favor of one candidate, or in the alternative to force a runoff. B, failing to follow the set out guidelines for the verification and tallying announcement of the presidential elections. C, swearing affidavits in support of petitions challenging the presidential election. D, disowning the results of the 2022 presidential elections. E, conveying and attending meeting purportedly to discuss and appoint counsel to represent the commission in the presidential election petitions. And F, attempting to appoint counsel to represent the commission in the presidential election petitions. Reverend Nduiga concludes in his petition by urging the House to find that the petition discloses sufficient grounds for the removal from office of the 4 commissioners and transmit the petition to His Excellency the President for further action. Petition C is by Mr. Geoffrey Langat. Honorable members, can you take the nearest available seats? The nearest available seats, Mpuri Apuri. The third petition, honorable members, is a petition by Mr. Geoffrey Langat. In this petition, the third petition seeks the removal from office of Ms. Irene Masit, Ms. Juliana CHERERA, Mr. Francis Wanderi, and Mr. Julius Nyang'aya on the grounds of serious violation of the Constitution and other relevant laws, gross misconduct in the performance of their functions, and incompetence. In the petition, Mr. Geoffrey Langat states that conduct of the 4 commissioners violated Article 3.2 and Article 81 EV of the Constitution and Sections 26 and 30 of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Act 2012. Mr. Langat concludes his petition by praying that the National Assembly takes the necessary steps as per Article 251 of the Constitution on removal of the commissioners. D is a petition by Owor Steve Jerry. The 4th and final petition seeking the removal from office of Ms. Juliana CHERERA, Francis Madenge, and Ms. Irene Masit and Mr. Julius Abonyo for violation of the provisions of Article 3.2, Article 10.2, Article 81E, Roman 3, Roman 4, and Roman 5, and Article 88.2 of the Constitution in their conduct leading up to the declaration of the presidential results in 2022 general elections. Mr. Jerry calls upon the House to consider his petition, urgently vote on it, and transmit it to His Excellency the President for the appointment of a tribunal to investigate the conduct and violations committed by the 4 commissioners as outlined in his petition. Honorable members, in accordance with paragraph 3 of Standing Orders 230, the 4 petitions now stand committed to the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs for consideration. The work of the committee is to guide the House by way of comprehensive report on whether the petitions satisfy the grounds for removal of any or all of the cited members of a constitutional commission as set out in clauses 1 and 2 of Article 251 of the Constitution. The committee has 14 days within which to submit a report to the House as required under paragraph 4 of Standing Orders 230. My predecessor, the Honorable Justin Muturi, has previously guided this House that the proceedings relating to the removal of persons from office are quasi-judicial in nature and require judicial attention and sobriety. Indeed, honorable members, even the High Court has had occasion with regard to the petition for the removal from office of the then Auditor General, Mr. Edward Ouko, to remind the House that it must conduct any quasi-judicial proceedings in strict compliance with Article 47 of the Constitution and Section 4 of the Fair Administrative Action Act 2015. Section 4 of the Fair Administrative Action Act 2015 reads as follows. 4.1. Every person has the right to administrative action which is expeditious, efficient, lawful, reasonable, and procedurally fair. 2. Every person has the right to be given written reasons for any administrative action that is taken against him. 3. Where an administrative action is likely to adversely affect the rights or fundamental freedoms of any person, the administrator shall give the person affected by the decision A, prior and adequate notice of the nature and reasons for the proposed administrative action, B, an opportunity to be heard and to make representations in that regard, C, notice of a right to a review or internal appeal against an administrative decision where applicable, D, a statement of reasons pursuant to Section 6, E, notice of the right to legal representation where applicable, F, notice of the right to cross-examination where applicable, G, information, materials, and evidence to be relied upon in making the decision or taking the administrative action. 4, the administrator shall accord that person against whom administrative action is taken an opportunity to A, attend proceedings in person or in the company of an expert of his choice, B, be